Yep, ready whenever you are.
Natalie, Tia?
One second, just confirming with Roman. Hang on.
Okay. And Tia, Taylor is telling me that his Novus is asking him to vote.
It's probably the test voting.
Was
it for a 1 a.m. Meeting start time? Or can you tell?
Yeah, I had this is Matt. I had the same thing when I logged on. It was defaulted to a meeting with today's date, but at 1 a.m., which I assume
Yes, that's the test vote. Okay, as long as you guys can see it, we know that it will prompt up when it's time for voting. If you can, there's a drop-down menu on the left-hand side of your Novus agenda, and you'll be able to select a 6:30 p.m. meeting. If you can get on that one, that's the current one, and we'll be ready to go. We're good in the control room, Christy.
All right, thank you. So commissioners, let me know and let the chair know when you're ready, and then chair, you can begin.
I see a couple thumbs ups. Few more. All right. I think we're ready to go. All right, at this time, I will call to order the February 9, 2021 meeting of the City and Sugar Land Planning and Zoning Commission. Item 3A, public comment. Citizens who desire to address the Planning and Zoning Commission with regard to matters on the agenda will be read and or received at this time. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, let's move on to item 4A, consideration of and action on the minutes of the January 28, 2021 meeting. Anyone have any comments to the minutes?
Motion to approve.
I've got a motion to approve from Commissioner Canine and a second from Commissioner Landine. Any further discussion? If not, if you vote at this time, please. There we go. So then, Dan, you gave me a thumbs up, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was there for the 1 a.m. meeting, but it didn't pop up. So I vote aye.
All right. And motion passes unanimously among the members present. Item 5A, subdivision plat, consideration of an action on the Park at Eldridge final plat. Laura Waller, take us away.
Good evening. So if you'll remember, we took the preliminary plat forward in November for you guys. This is the 21.6 acres at West Airport and Eldridge. There's approximately 89 lots with 11 reserves, and it's in 2 blocks. Access is from West Airport via Orchid and Pearl Street. Next slide. This is the approved preliminary plat that was approved. That's the wrong date. It should be 11/12/2020 with conditions. The conditions are all reflected here. This is the updated preliminary plat, including some miscellaneous typos and some small errors. Next slide. So we do have the final plat for you tonight. This is sheet 1, and there's also a sheet 2, and then I believe sheet 3 has all of the signatures on it. So this is the far side that backs up to Eldridge. And again, here you can see Pearl Street there right in the middle. That would be a right in, right out only street. The other street, Orchid, is where you would have access left from the left turn. And next slide. So here again, you can see Orchid Street with and this is where the subdivision sign will be with the left in and out median cuts for access from both directions on West Airport Boulevard. There have been some moderate updates, different shading, some different line weights in order to make sure that everything is completely legible on here. We also had them blow it up and split it up into 2 sheets so that there is a match line now to make that just extra legible on the printed sheets for you guys. Next slide. There we go. So as you are becoming more and more familiar, there are the 3 options available tonight: approve, approve with conditions. That includes the citations for code, or disapprove with the with reasons relating to codes. The codes citations must be written down for conditions for approval or reason for disapproval. And you do have the plating guide that should have been sent out. Staff can also help with any questions about that. Next slide. Therefore, staff does recommend approval of the proposed Park at Eldridge final plat with the an initial condition of updating the surveyor's block to state Texas Board of Professional Engineers and Land Surveyors, similar to the past final plats that we saw. I'd be happy to answer any questions. We also have George Carmichael, the developer, on for questions and discussion as well. You're muted, Matt.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Laura. Let's run through the commissioners and see if we've got any comments or questions, starting with Commissioner Hart.
First a general question for the staff. How concerned are we with measurements to 0.01? I mean, if they're off by 0.01, is it worth it to comment? Is there any?
Yeah, 0.01 it's typically a rounding error because of with the difference in rounding based on the chart versus what's written there. So we're not terribly concerned with 0.01.
Okay. Then I'm not going to make any of those comments. I was just checking some of the distances, and that's why I wanted to confirm. I didn't want to have any undue work for them. I do have a question on the sheet. Well, sorry. Let me start with sheet 2.
Okay.
I think there's a shading issue on the 20-foot build line on the bottom lots. It's not dark through lots 17 through 34. At least on my print, it wasn't. I don't know if that's.
So the gray is for reserves. It's not supposed to be shaded if it's just the build line because that's part of the lot.
Not shaded. I'm sorry. The one is gray. It's the line weight. Pardon me.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes, the 20-foot build line is gray instead of black.
Yeah. That was all on. The match line. I mean, I guess normally we'd see match line sheet 3 on there, and on sheet 3 we'd see match line sheet 2. Again, I don't think that's anything super critical. Moving to sheet 3, because you split this, I think we lost one of the annotations for the 10-foot water line easement. It's on the other sheet, but when you continue this side, the lots on the south side, that water line easement.
Okay.
Yeah. It's there, but it just wasn't called out on that sheet.
Right. It needs to be on both sheets. Yes.
So now this one I have a question because I wasn't involved in the preliminary plat. On the stormwater pump station, where's the access to that?
Gmo, can you answer that question? I believe it's in the construction plans for you.
Good afternoon, or good evening. This is Guillermo in the engineering department. There's an access, there's a maintenance burn around the detention pond. It's about 20 foot wide. So there is access to that pond, to the pump station.
How do they get in there?
There's a drainage easement in the between lots and.
The 40-foot overflow?
Yes. Well, there's access from the back. And there's access right here for in Beacon Street. There's a drainage easement goes through to the pump, to the detention pond.
Okay, so engineering satisfied that there's sufficient access to, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then I think my only other question was on lots 54, 55, 56, and 57, there's a triangle that's filled in that says access.
That will be where the yard fronts. It fronts only on Cape Cod Court, not Orchid.
Okay. Was there a reason lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 didn't have that then?
Because there is not a back. So if you look at those lots, the front and the back both are on a street, whereas lots 1, 2, 3, and 4, the back is a utility easement to the back of another residence. There's not a street on both ends of the lot. So that access easement is denoting that they have access from Cape Cod, not from Orchid Street. The Orchid Street is the rear of the property.
And the reason is because there's
So lots 1 through 4 don't have a road on the back of their house. It's another row of houses.
I'm sorry, we might be looking at the wrong 1, 2, 3, and 4. The on the east side of Orchid Street, lots 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're
There's
saying
not a road along the back.
Oh, I see. I apologize. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. I apologize. Long day today. That was my only questions. Thank you.
All right, great questions. Thank you, Tim. Commissioner Brown?
Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone had a great day. Looking at the signature page, I don't know, what do we call that, page 1? Note number 7 says there's no pipelines or pipeline easements within the limits of the subdivision. If I'm looking at this easterly block of homes on the southerly line, there's a Dow Chemical Company pipeline easement that seems to terminate on the southerly property line.
It was abandoned across this property here.
It was abandoned. Okay. And then I had the same question on the water line easement, so I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Commissioner Parikh?
I don't have anything at the moment. Thank you.
You bet. Commissioner Watley?
Sorry. Yeah, I pulled the last ones we went through, and I think everything looks the same, and I'm good with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Landine?
Nothing for me tonight. Thank you.
Commissioner Canine?
Yes, sir. I've got a few items. Sheet 1 and 3, the reserve table. I mentioned this in the preliminary plat that the math does not work. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reserves where the math doesn't quite work. It's minor. It's a significant digit in the fourth column. Again, that's minor, but it's not quite correct. But the problem I have is that the sum of those, both the acres and the square feet, is incorrect. And I mentioned this in the preliminary plat, and obviously it didn't get checked for the final. The surveyor needs to correct this because it's short by 1,254 square feet, 0.0287 acres. So they need to correct the summation of the acreage and the summation of square feet. So you address the surveyor's block, signature block. I had a question, and I brought this up in a previous plat in the ETJ, but it's about building lines that cross reserves. So on sheet 2 of 3, reserve K has a 20-foot building setback. I questioned staff, does that need to be there?
Sorry, I'm trying to find Reserve K.
Reserve K, it's along Little Bridge.
It does not have to be there, but Fort Bend County asks for it typically. That's why it was there in the
This is in the
ETJ.
city, but this is in
Yeah,
the city.
In the city, so it would not be required.
And likewise on sheet 3 of 3, you've got one on the 40, on Reserve A, on the 40-foot drainage easement, a 20-foot building setback line. Is staff okay with having that on there?
Yeah, staff is okay with having the single building line on there.
Okay, my concern is that the acreage is incorrect and the surveyor needs to correct that before it goes to record recordation. Okay, I think that's all I got. Appreciate it.
Okay, just to be clear, Jay, you're not asking for the setback lines on the reverse to be corrected. You just want to know if staff's comfortable with that.
Correct. If the staff will let that, if they'll accept that, then I will accept it as well.
All right. Thanks, sir. Commissioner Simeon?
Yes, thank you. Everything I found has been covered. I just want to make sure that the motion includes what's in the recommended action as far as properly labeling the Texas Board of Professional Engineers and land surveyors to make that change. That's all I have.
All right. And I had just a couple of minor things. You know, this is one that's come up before where, you know, I'm on sheet 1 and I'm looking at the affidavit of John Beeson. You know, under the first part, he says, witness my hand in the city of Sugar Land, Texas. And then I guess that's right. And the next one is, but under it for the jurat for the notary says state of Texas, county of Harris. So I assume that's going to be notarized where it's signed. If the signer's in the city of Sugar Land, shouldn't that be Fort Bend?
I suppose, I'm not sure. I don't know. Doug?
It's going to be wherever they do sign it.
Well, if he's saying witness my hand and he's signing it in front of the notary, he needs to be in the same place as the notary.
Right, I'm following you. I'm just catching up to you, sir.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the notary was maybe licensed through Harris County. I'm not sure exactly how that works. So I wasn't sure why it was a different county. I just figured the surveyor should know.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just an artifact of where they are versus where the witness is. And this one's different, right? This says witness my hand in the city of Sugar Land. So you should probably both say Fort Bend. I realize it's a pretty minor point, but it needs to be right.
Right, you're right. They don't always say that additional information there with calling it out. So we'll need to make sure that squares away. Or they eliminate that city of Sugar Land period. Yeah.
And then a couple other really minor things on the notes in note 19, Sugar Land should be corrected to be 2 words.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
In note 20, city should be capitalized, capital C. And I think that is all I had. That's all I had.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone want to make a motion? I can try to do it if I don't have any takers. All right, hearing none, I will make a motion to approve the park at Eldridge final plat, subject to the following conditions. On sheet 1, that the mathematical errors in the reserve table be corrected. Since that's a table issue, I'm going to say that's per the Development Application Handbook, Section 5, Graphic Requirements for Final Plat and Development Code, Chapter 5, Article 2, Section 5-17. Number two, on sheet 2, the correction showing the 20-foot building line in the correct color, which I believe is black. On sheet 3, and I'm sorry, that one would be, I guess, a key identifier pursuant to Development Application Handbook, Section 5, graphic requirements for final plat, and Development Code, Chapter 5, Article 2, Section 5-17. Number 3 would be correcting the annotation on sheet 3, correcting the annotation for the 10-foot water line easement in the legend. That would be the correction of the legend table, Development Application Handbook, Section 5, graphic requirements for final plat, and Development Code, Chapter 5, Article 2, Section 5-17. And with the correction in the affidavit, which would be the key identifier information, again, Section Development Application Handbook, Section 5, graphic requirements for final plat, and Development Code, Chapter 5, Article 2, Section 5-17. And also for the same reasons, the corrections to notes 19 and 20 as indicated in our discussions. Did I miss anything?
Surveyor's block.
And the correction of the surveyor's block to designate, I've got a TBP ELS and I don't have written down what that would be for. Dan, you want to help us with that?
It should read Texas Board of Professional Engineers and Land Surveyors.
Thank you, sir. Okay, and that would also, I guess, be a key identifier pursuant to Development Application Handbook, Section 5, graphic requirements for final plat, and Development Code, Chapter 5, Article 2, Section 5-17.
Yes, and Mr. Chair, that one would also be Development Code, Chapter 5, Article 2, Section 5-11.
Thank you, counsel.
Second.
I'm sorry, I didn't see who seconded that.
I did.
All right, we've got a motion by me and a second by Commissioner Simeon. Any further discussion? All right, if you'll please vote at this time.
I vote aye.
Thank you.
All right, I don't see the vote. It looks like, I think everyone voted aye, right? I saw it on my iPad, but I don't, here we go. All right, and that motion passes unanimously from all members present. Thank you very much, Laura, and thank you, commissioners. Moving on to item 6A, consideration of and action on the recommendation for the proposed rezoning of approximately 5.1 acres from business BO district to general business B2 district along US Highway 59 and Parkway Boulevard, south of Sugar Creek Boulevard, to the mayor and members of city council. Lauren, this is the 24-hour fitness property, correct?
It sure is.
All right, take it away.
All right, next slide, please. So I'm going to just go through a couple slides here for purposes of the meeting minutes and remind us, no, it was just 2 weeks ago where we are here. But yes, you're correct. This is the former 24-hour fitness facility on 59, 50,000 square foot building with parking, annexed in the early 80s with the office zoning at that time. Currently BO zoning and proposed for the B2 general business zoning. Next slide, please. Aerial map here, you can see the building and the surrounding parking. Surrounding areas are zoned as both B2 and BO, mix of uses like we discussed last time. Just a real mixed bag of restaurant, medical office, fitness, kids playland, beauty salon, as well as a handful of residential homes that are behind the site, but separated by that public roadway in the rear. So the proposed rezoning will allow for compatible general business B2 development or redevelopment in this area, and is also compatible with the future land use map as the regional and commercial services area. Next slide, please. So to recap, we met on January 28th, had the public hearing. There were no members of the public that spoke. I gave a presentation, and then the property owner's representative also spoke to the commission. Had some minor questions, more clarification for myself and the applicant team, and overall the commission expressed their support for this proposed rezoning. Next slide. A couple just points here. Again, the applicant's request was to better market the property, like we discussed during the public hearing. The B2 zoning would be a continuation of the existing zoning to the north and allow for that future redevelopment under the B2 regulations to be compatible with the surrounding area. Consistent with the land use map, thoroughfare plan, for having retail and services located directly off of a highway. And then as we discussed last time with a detailed slide during the public hearing, there are obviously several proposed uses that are permitted by right in the B2 district, which would require site plan submittal to the staff. But any uses requiring the CUP in B2 that we went over, several of those, the mini storage, your auto related uses, car wash, those would have to be brought forward to P&Z and council for consideration. Next slide, please. And with that, staff would support the commission's recommendation of approval to the mayor and city council for the proposed rezoning. That's all I've got.
Okay, thanks very much, Lauren. We just discussed this two weeks ago, and it seemed like there was excellent support for this proposal. I'll just quickly run through the line and see if anyone has any comments. Commissioner Hart?
No comments.
Commissioner Brown?
No comments.
Commissioner Parikh?
No comments.
Commissioner Watley?
No comments.
Commissioner Landine?
All good, thanks.
Commissioner Canine?
Comments, thank you.
Commissioner Simeon?
None here, thank you.
I have none as well. Do I hear a motion?
I do. I'll make the motion. I move we make a recommendation of approval of the mayor and the city council of the proposed rezoning of approximately 5.1 acres from business B-O district to general business B-2 district located along US Highway 59 and Parkway Boulevard south of Sugar Creek Boulevard to the mayor and the members of city council.
Excellent. I've got a motion from Commissioner Simeon. I believe I saw a second from Commissioner Parikh. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. Please vote at this time.
And I vote aye.
All right.
I do also. I seem to have lost it.
All right. And it passes unanimously among the members present. Thanks very much, Lauren. Thank you, commissioners. Thanks very much. We got approval in roughly 2 weeks, so that was pretty quick. So best of luck. Best of luck to all parties concerned regarding the redevelopment of that property. Okay, item 7A, reports. City Council meeting, Planning and Zoning Commission liaison report for the City Council meeting of February 2nd. Who had that one?
Well, that was me. For the most part, the things that concerned us were there were some appointments to TERS 1, Independent Ethics Board, and the ZBA appointed an alternate. I did not take down their names, but that'll be on the minutes of meeting. The only other thing that was of import or interest was the fulfilling or the awarding of a contract for sidewalk and trail rehabilitation in the city. And I thought that was interesting because it outlined some of the statistics of our sidewalks in the city. We have over 850 miles of sidewalks in the city, and that it takes approximately $2,000 for each repair, so that the $625,000 contract award was going to only fix about 3,000 or 300 locations that required repair, and that The city gets about 700 service requests a year, and there's already a backlog of 969. So they're behind 18 to 24 months in sidewalk repairs. And that was about it. They honored Pete Olson for his service. It's pretty fast meeting.
Okay. That's an uplifting report on the state of the sidewalks for sure. I just want to point out that here in Sugar Creek, we don't add to that problem at all. So you have us to thank for that. Thanks very much for that report, Commissioner Hart. Item 7B, city staff report. Doug, what do you got?
Yes, sir. We're looking at the potential for canceling the meeting that would be at the end of the month. We're still looking at that, but we should be able to finalize that decision this week. So most likely we won't have a second meeting in February based on where things are in process. That's all we have.
All right. Thanks very much. Anything else for the good of the group?
Motion to adjourn.
I've got a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Landine.
Second.
From Commissioner Watley. We'll vote by affirmation at this time. And that motion passes unanimously among the members present. Thanks, everyone, for your work and your attendance tonight. It was good to see you. I hope things are going well for everyone, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a good evening.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Good night, everybody.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.